Thank you for the red conch. I didn't know there was a second part to Spinal Tap. So, before I do the legalities and all the rest of it, like you've all grown accustomed to, first off, I apologise. 14 months. I apologise if it sounds like I'm shouting. My ears are playing up, so sorry. But, hey Red, hey kiddo. So, yeah, light's a bit brighter tonight because before we begin, as you can probably tell, this is a sponsored stream. So I've got a box here that was delivered today that I'm going to open on screen so that you can see that I'm not talking crap, I'm not trying to sell something that I wouldn't use myself. I just don't know how the hell I'm going to lift this fucking box. Because it weighs a ton. Not even joking. It weighs a fucking ton. Right, you know what I'm going to do? There, box. I'm going to open it on my knee so that you can see if I can find my knife. Hi, babe. I'll be fine. My huge penknife, as you can see. Costs a fortune this, but it's mother of pearl in my handle. Absolutely beautiful. It's so tiny. So, yep, as you can see. Now, this box cost me all of £20 and 24 pence. Very true. And it's, according to the description, it is 5 meals for 2 adults. So let's see. Put the really large knife back in the drawer. Right. There shouldn't be ads. Doesn't say that there's ads playing. Weird. Doesn't say that there's ads playing. Right, so big box. Okay, hi, see, HelloFresh. I'm gonna set it in front of me. Oh, right, big box. Yeah. Lots of paperwork. Lots and lots and even more paperwork. A little welcome pack and recipe cards. So, pork, chili and rice burrito bowl. It's the first one that was there. So, bag number 9. Bag number 9. I'm not going to sit and open all this. That would take absolutely forever. But this is for the pork chili burrito bowl. Welcome back. That wasn't telling me that there was ads running, so I don't know. So, that'll be in the paper bag. Oh, I've also got a little box with all my... I didn't order this. Chinese sauces, cooking sauces. Very nice. So, let's just open this one. Now this is all made to measure, weighed out, so that I cannot get food waste. So we have chives, baby plum tomatoes, no bruising, looking good, looking good. My seasoning, more spice mix, a bag of rice, a little passata. Oh wait, there's another. Chicken stock paste. I don't know why it's chicken. Everything I need, obviously, without the pork. To make. I have got the bag of meat. Yeah, just so that you can see. This is the bag of meat. But I'm not in my own stream. So, there. Mr. Mudman, can you come and take this to the kitchen, please? But yeah, so thank you. Yeah, no, I'll cook. I like cooking. I'm going to turn the light on now because that's me done what I needed to do. There we go, back to normal. So yeah, £20, £24 for that full box. That was brilliant. And I even chucked in the Chinese sauces. Thank you. I'll sort it out once I'm finished. It's just there is a bit of weight to it. So yeah. Why is that in capitals? Oh yeah, because I was playing GTA earlier. There you go, there's all the details you need. 50% off your first order and 35% off your following 3 orders. Can't complain at that. It's 5 meals for 2 folk for £20 and free delivery and extra sauces. Also, sponsored. The link for that will turn up at some point. Right. So, let's go on with the legalities, shall we? Because we know we're not here to talk about healthy eating at reasonable prices. No, we're here for supernatural stories. So, before we begin, let's get the legal bit out the way, shall we? Must remind everybody that this story is strictly for mature audiences only. Not suitable for viewers who are under the age of 18 or for anyone with a nervous disposition, especially this one. If you are new to the channel and you like what you see, first off, hi, welcome in. If you like the content, then please feel free to hit the follow button. If you're looking for any previous stories, they always got uploaded on a Tuesday afternoon on the condition that I remember to my YouTube channel. Every story I've ever done is up there, and this one will begin up on Tuesday as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so that you know when I always upload. Like, comment, and feel free to share the videos. But if you are sharing any of my stories, then please save me the hassle of having to find yet another lawyer. Just put a trigger warning on them, because I can't afford to get sued, okay? So, anyway, without further ado, let's go with part 3, shall we? Because we know that's why you're really here. Now, we're on to week 3, as I just said, of our True Life Supernatural series. And so far, we've covered werewolves, and we've covered witches. What could possibly be next? Bet you don't know where this is going. I bet you think you know where this is going, but believe you me, you have got no idea where this shit is going, okay? Because even I didn't think I'd be able to pull this one off. This one impressed me, okay? This one impressed me. I mean, I thought finding a real life werewolf story was a bit weird. Yeah, exactly, Wraith. I thought finding a real life werewolf story was good, but this one, holy fuck. Because, yeah, supernatural and true, yeah, don't really go well together normally, but hey ho, I've done it again, folks. Just wait till you see what I've got in store for you next week. 2 weeks' time. Because next weekend ain't none of us at home. Half of you's lot of partying up in London while us pair buggers are in Birmingham working. So, 2 weeks' time, all being well. I've got a backup plan, but I will discuss that at the end of the stream. So, the next part, the 4th and final part, will be going live, no questions asked, on the 11th. I love that one. On the 11th of September. Might not have all of this, but the story will be live on the 11th of September, that I can promise you. Now, have you ever, I know I have, I used to do it regularly, but have you ever walked through an old cemetery? And have you ever seen a bell attached to an old gravestone? With a rope attached that goes into the ground. Lots of people have seen them. That bell wasn't conch. You really need to get out more and hang about really old cemeteries. Wait, that doesn't sound right. And I apologise, my hearing is so dodgy tonight. Oh my god. I'm hearing myself in duplicate. But that bell wasn't just for decoration. There ain't nothing in a graveyard that's gonna hurt you. They're all dead. I'm gonna stop that sentence actually. They're supposed to all be dead. Right, so the bell's not just for decoration, it's not to look pretty. Oh no, they do look pretty cool. You know, that bell had a purpose. Because you see, back when people weren't as educated as they are now. Ah, exactly. Life and soul of the party in there, man. Everybody's dying to get in. When people weren't as educated as they are today, mistakes were often made. And a common mistake that was made was people were often buried alive. Yeah. So the bell and string was actually served a purpose. The string went all the way inside the coffin. Oh yeah, I love graveyards. I used to get my dad to take me to them all the time when I was younger. My mum thought it was weird though. I never think why she would have ever thought that. But no, the strings from the bells actually went into the coffin at hand height, so that if the person inside was not actually dead and they woke up, they would be able to ring the bell and let the caretakers know that they were in fact still alive. Yeah. Now, as we know about wakes, right? Don't spoil it. I love old going to old gravestones, I'd seen the old gravestones and that. Oh, I love it. There's a beautiful big old cemetery up in Edinburgh. In fact, if you have a look, and you're a Harry Potter fan, if you have a look at the old cemetery, yeah, it's okay, I'll no spoil it. If you have a look in the old cemetery up in Edinburgh that I'm talking about, and you're a Harry Potter fan, you will see a lot of familiar names, because that is actually where J.K. Rowling got, exactly, yep, got the names for a lot of the characters for the Harry Potter series, including Tom Riddle. That's an interesting fun fact for you. I love cemeteries, I'm sorry. There's just, I don't know, it's weird, it was harder. Right, now we all know about wakes, right? Which is essentially where the deceased person's body is left on show for the family to visit and say their final goodbyes. Well, originally, wakes were for the sole purpose of viewing a body for a few days before burial to see if that person would wake up. Hence the name. And you'd be surprised at how many people did actually wake up. But the problems only seem to be when they rush the burial. When they try and get them buried too quick. And yeah. I mean, that bit I didn't know. I knew about the bells and that, but I didn't know about wakes, and that's why they were called, why they were the word called what they're called. That one was a bit of new information to me. Now, you would be forgiven for thinking that people don't get buried alive by mistake very often, but surprisingly enough they do. So much so that I decided I'm going to make this shit into part 3, because the dead returning to life, that's something straight out of a George Romero zombie movie. So, boys and girls, we have part 3 of our True Life Supernatural series. Tonight, we are talking about zombies. I'm going to roll a wee second. I have actually managed to go from werewolves to witches to zombies, and all of it is true. Oh, hell yeah, but I touch on that in the story. But, yeah. I thought finding a real life werewolf case was going to be weird. No, I've actually been able to find real life zombie cases. Now, no, and there's no cannibalism involved in this. I know Bucky has got a thing about cannibalism, and for the first time ever, I finally get the chance to talk about it, and there's no. A lot of grave robbers stole them because they were made out of precious metals. Fun fact about the bell. So yeah, there would have been a bell attached. But yeah, so I finally get the chance to talk about flesh-eating monsters, and there's no cannibalism involved. But like I said, all of these stories are fact-checked, because I do spend the best part of a fucking fortnight doing it. Even when I'm away from home, I'm still fact-checking, because...
Hi, how are you?
Hey, legit, I'm very well, thank you very much. How are you? But yeah, I actually have my mobile phone hooked up to my desktop so that I can work from home. Yeah. Oh, you like tonight's story, legit? We're talking about real life zombies. No, I can't actually. Nice. So, I've handpicked. Red's here, don't you worry. I've handpicked a few stories of the dead rising from the grave for your enjoyment. And lucky for me, there are quite a few stories out there to choose from. But first up, this is the one you know, Conch. This is what got me started in this, by the way. The whole thing. So, anybody not enjoying this, it's Conch's fault. He got me started in this series. So if you don't like it, blame him. No, but got to admit, we are all fairly enjoying it. Thanks for the luck. Legit. We seem to be enjoying it. And I'm enjoying being able to tell horror stories that really did happen. So, first up, we have the rather dark tale of Marjorie McCall. Now, our Marjorie passed away in 1705 from a fever. After her death, the family were unable to remove a very valuable gold ring from her finger due to swelling. And she was unfortunately buried with said ring because they couldn't remove it. Now, word quickly spread about the ring being buried with Marjorie, and grave robbers decided that they would dig her up to remove the ring and then sell her body to the surgeons. Pretty Birkin hairstyle. Pretty common practice back then throughout, well, everywhere really. So, two grave robbers, they went to her grave one night and they dug her up. But again, the swelling prevented the ring from being removed. They just could not get this ring off this woman's finger. Marjorie was not letting go of this ring, okay? So they had two choices. They could either sell her body with that I would like to see. But they had two choices, these grave robbers. They could either sell her body to the surgeons and let them get the ring, or they could go with option B and just cut off the dead woman's finger. They decided to go with that one ultimately. So, the second the knife cut into Marjorie's skin, she started bleeding and woke up screaming. Now, what happened to the would-be grave robbers is unclear. I am imagining they shit themselves and ran away. To be fair, probably never to rob another grave as long as they lived. That's what I would have done. Yeah. But they did rob me or they ran away because I couldn't find anything. Mind you, to be fair, not that kind of zombie. To be fair, I wasn't really looking into the grave robbers. It was just I couldn't find anything, so I didn't bother digging any deeper because they're not the main focus of the story. I did my grave robbing expose months ago. So, while this was happening, at the McCall family home, John McCall, a doctor, believe it or not, was at home with the children when there was a knock at the door. Now, John said at the time, if your mother was still alive, I'd swear that was her knock. And when he opened the door, his dead wife was standing in the clothes that she had been buried in, with blood running down her hand where the robbers had tried to get her ring off. Of course, this was all too much for poor John, and he dropped down dead right there and then. And was buried in the plot that his wife had not long left. Marjorie went on to live for many more years, even remarrying and having more children. Yep. dropped down dead of a heart attack at the sight of his dead wife on the doorstep. Now she remarried and had more children, and when she eventually died, she was returned to her original graveyard, where her headstone, which still stands today, reads, Marjorie McCall, lived once, buried twice. I like that one. It's kind of creepy, but I like that one. I think there's actually one in... I think there's one in the Discord, in the All Things Bucky section. I'm sure you post... Because it was in there, you posted the link, and I think that the headstone was part of the link. So have a look in the Discord. Is it actually? Jeez. I knew it was near you, but I didn't know how close. Oh, that's creepy. Ooh. Now, next up, we have the fascinating story of Essie Dunbar, who died in 1915 from complications following an epileptic seizure, aged 30. Now, Essie was due to be buried the following day. They had held off the funeral to allow for her... I love that one. Hey, Ollie. They had held off her funeral to allow her sister, who was travelling for quite some distance, to be able to attend. However, she didn't make it in time for the funeral. But the local minister took the unusual decision to exhume Essie's body so that her sister could see her one last time. When the coffin was opened, Essie sat bolt upright and smiled at her sister. Hey, Ollie. Now, many mourners got scared and ran away. The minister got such a fright that he fell into the grave, breaking several ribs. And the sister began screaming. Essie went on to live for another 40 years before dying again in 1955. Many locals were terrified of her, as they believed that she was a zombie, and always treated her with suspicion until she died a second time. Thank you for the hydrate, Wraith. Oh. Thank you for the stretch. Oh, that helped. That cracked my neck. I just wish it would help with the hearing, because it's really starting to annoy me. Now, next up... Oh, no. I'm rereading. Sorry. Next on the list is 19-year-old Angelo Hayes. Young Angelo was thrown headfirst from his motorbike into a wall and was declared dead by doctors in 1937. He was buried 3 days later. Yeah, ouch. Just days before his death, his father took out a rather large life insurance policy on him. Now, because of this, the insurance company became suspicious and ordered the body of Angelo to be exhumed. That's what the insurance company thought. But when they opened the grave, the body of Angelo was inside. But he was still alive. Only barely alive, but he was alive. So it was just a complete coincidence that the accident happened days after the insurance policy was taken out. Now, after several surgeries and lots of rehabilitation, Angelo made a full recovery and became a celebrity in his home country of France. He went on to live a full life and even invented a coffin that was set up to keep a person alive in the event that they were not dead when they were buried. Yeah, his face was all mangled and they did get it full force in the face. I've not seen pictures, but I've read descriptions. Yeah, no. I can see why they thought he was dead. Turns out he wasn't. He toured the country with his invention, which even included a library. Yes, this man put a library in a coffin in the 1970s. Not bad for a man that died in 1937. Yeah, basically. I mean, they invented the codpiece before they invented the helmet. 100 years before they invented the helmet. Now, yeah. This is where I'm going to start butchering pronunciations. Apologies in advance, but I did say it earlier today that I was going to start butchering. So, yay, go me, I can't speak right. Well, no, very true. They did genuinely. The codpiece was invented 100 years before the introduction of a helmet to football. American football. They protected that head before they protected that one. Yeah. Yeah. Right, so we have Sifo William Mdletsy, I believe that is pronounced, was only 24 when he and his fiancée were in a bad car crash. Sifo was pronounced dead at the scene, and his body was placed inside a metal makeshift coffin, like a metal box, in Johannesburg mortuary, while awaiting burial. 2 days later, Sifo woke up and began screaming for help. He was eventually heard and released from the box. After his resurrection, he returned to his fiancée, who was so startled by his sudden return to the land of the living that she sent him away, believing he was a zombie. In February 2014. Yeah, some of these are recent, guys, okay? Some of these are recent. In February 2014, 78-year-old Mississippi local Walter Williams. No one's eating anyone in this story, Wraith. No cannibalism. Although that would be fun. But no. The only story that doesn't involve cannibalism is one about fucking zombies. What's the chances? But no cannibalism this time round. Now, Walter Williams was declared dead and taken to a local funeral home to begin preparations for his funeral. Now, just as morticians were about to begin the embalming of the old man, his legs began kicking and he started breathing on his own. An ambulance was called and Walter was taken back to hospital. No one's eating anyone. maybe next week. No, the week after. Oh, I don't know. 3 weeks. Maybe 3 weeks for now. Locals called it a miracle. However, the stress was just too much for poor Walter's body to handle, and he permanently passed away 2 weeks later. I'll find you a cannibal story, don't worry, there's plenty of them. Oh, actually, I don't want to do one, so yeah, don't worry. So that's 5 people, all buried before they died. He's not long by with his dinner as well. Remember, I'm saying he was going for something to eat. Now, 4 of these people went on to live their lives before dying and being buried a second time. Of course, Walter only got to live for 2 weeks, but he got an extra 2 weeks, right? Now, these people, they got lucky. They were found before it was too late. But what happened to those that weren't as lucky? Now, unfortunately, many people were found just too late. And the next few people were also buried alive, but only discovered after they had died in the place that they were laid to rest. It definitely sounds hungry. You just had a burger. Then why the feck are you still hungry? Order some chicken wings or something. Right. Anybody familiar with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show? All the Kill Bill movies? In each of these, the female lead has been buried. Now, granted, Buffy is dead and she's brought back to life, but that's completely irrelevant. They wake up in their own graves. Now, they need to fight their way out of their coffins and then through several feet of dirt before they're finally free. And although I've never been buried alive or had to crawl out my own grave, thankfully, I get the feeling that both the actors did a brilliant job and they made it look realistic. Now, these were really tough women. Yes, I know it was only make-believe, I know they were actors, but the characters were really physically strong women, and they struggled, they had great difficulty in climbing out of their grave. So, an average person of average or less strength, if they woke up buried 6 feet under in a coffin, yeah, it doesn't sound too promising for them, does it? Actually, it's not impossible. Buried. The movie is called Buried, and yes, I have seen it. Where he's left with a flashlight and a mobile phone. How we got a signal in a coffin to call the police? But, hey ho. But, I know the movie you're talking about. It is possible, especially using one of Angelo's coffins, because he made it so that you can't escape from them. There are public service announcements that tell you what to do in the event that you are buried alive, including pulling your jumper over your head to keep the dirt off it in the event that you get out of the coffin. I imagine it would be one in a million chance. Okay, if you wake up in a coffin, you might as well just go to sleep, because you ain't ever getting out. Yeah. But yeah, the chances of you getting out are slim to zero, but there is a chance. Just not very promising. Now, in December, nope, I'm reading ahead again. Or I'm reading behind, I don't know. Doesn't matter. In 2015, Rudy Perez was visiting the grave of his 16-year-old wife, Nancy, who had been buried the day before. When he got close to the ground, he could hear banging and screaming. Quickly, he raised the alarm, and people came from all around and started to dig through the concrete that his wife's coffin was buried in. When they were able to get to the coffin, they found that the glass from the viewing window was broken, and fresh cuts and bruises were on Nancy's hands. Not just that, but she was warm to the touch. Liam Neeson survives everything though. I mean, Sideshow Bob did it as well in The Simpsons. The young bride, who was 3 months pregnant and buried in her wedding dress, was rushed to the nearest hospital. But unfortunately, it was too late and she could not be revived. Cause of death is listed as suffocation caused by a panic attack that was brought on by waking up in her coffin. She was buried back in her original plot a day later. February 2018. They're getting closer. And neighbours of Sonora Santana Cemetery in the Brazilian town of Riacho das Neves. This is getting harder to say, people. Reported hearing screams and banging coming from the cemetery. To start with, they blamed kids. Just boys messing about, playing. When someone went to check it out, they heard banging and then moaning coming from inside the grave of 37-year-old Rosangela Almeida, who had been buried 11 days earlier. When her coffin was dug up, her body was turned over, and there were cuts and bruises on her hands. The nails that secured the coffin were loose, and there were scratch marks inside the coffin. Her body was also warm to the touch. Going by the evidence, the family believe that medical professionals made a mistake, and Rosangela was not dead when she was buried, but died while trying to escape her coffin. And the evidence certainly supports this theory. Her death certificate, however, was not changed, and still says that she died on the 28th of January 2018 from 2 cardiac arrests brought on by septic shock. Now, these are relatively new cases, and people died in their graves. But there are so many documented cases throughout the years of people who weren't actually dead being buried. It makes you see why, I'm going to butcher this. Yeah, tell me about it. It makes you see why taphophobia, the fear of being buried alive, is such a common fear. It's a fear I have, to the point that I have already stated numerous times, my husband can back me up in this. When I die, I want my organs donated. Whatever's left has to be cremated, and my ashes are to be scattered in a beautiful spot near my mother's grave in the town I was born. No chance me being buried alive then, is there? But yeah, taphophobia. The fear of being buried alive. See, you're always learning new things here on Storytime with Buck Buck. Who says I can't be educational? So, let's have a look at some older cases of people who weren't actually dead when their coffins were lowered into the ground. July. July of 1893. And Mrs. Bogar was living with her husband when she died of unknown causes. Pretty standard thing back then. They didn't have the medical know-how to accurately determine a cause of death, so they just listed it as unknown. A doctor confirmed her death and Mrs. Bogar was buried. A friend of Charles Bogar, her husband, there might be spiders. Well, no, if it's airtight. It should be okay, actually. Now, a friend of Charles Bogar, her husband, reportedly told him that his wife suffered from hysteria, whatever that is, and therefore might not have been dead when they buried her. Charles exhumed his wife to see if his fears were true. We'll double check the coffin for you. Seriously, if I ever wasn't the funeral directors, I would be tying their shoelaces together before they get buried. Just in case. Or chopping off their feet. I think that might be a bit far. But he exhumed his wife's body to see if his fears were true. What he found was horrifying. Mrs. Bogar's clothes were shredded, her body was turned over, her skin was bloody, and some of her fingers were missing. Not long after his gruesome discovery, Charles simply vanished. Seeing his much-loved wife in such a horrific state was simply too much for the poor man to bear. He just completely disappeared. Brains for everyone. Some people need the extra brains. Without a doubt. Octavia Smith Hatcher. Octavia. That is such a cool name. Octavia. Was declared dead by unknown causes on May 2nd, 1891. In reality, Octavia had just been in a coma. She was buried straight away, and a few days later, her family began to worry that she was not dead. Her husband ordered her body to be exhumed, and that's when he made the heck yeah, I know it's a Skoda. That's Octavia. This is Octavia. So, So, the husband again ordered the body to be exhumed, and that's when he discovered that the family were right. His dear wife had in fact been buried alive. Her nails were bloody from trying to get out of the coffin, and her face was frozen in terror. Her husband eventually had his wife's body reburied and even erected a statue over her grave in memory of her. Mr. Cornish was the mayor of Bath. No, she turned into a weeping angel. I've seen the statue, that's believable. Now, Mr. Cornish died of a fever. Cornish was buried fairly quickly after he was thought to have died. Unfortunately, Mr. Cornish, the mayor of Bath, was not dead. In the middle of the funeral, a gravedigger heard noises coming from the body. Yep, a weeping angel. That is exactly what this statue looks like. It's so freaky. Now, the gravedigger raced to try and get Cornish out in time before he suffocated, but unfortunately he wasn't quite quick enough. When Cornish's coffin was finally opened, he was found dead and his elbows and knees bloody. Apparently, now apparently this freaked his sister out so much that she asked to be beheaded before she died in order to avoid being buried alive. Nope. I don't ever draw a picture of them or take a picture of them or...
Cock juggling thunder cunt.
I love that one. Yeah, but she asked to be beheaded before she died so that she would not be buried alive. Yeah, because that makes sense. Why no ask to be beheaded once they've declared you dead? Not before, because, you know, that would kill you. I mean, I could be wrong, but why not? Right, once I've died, take my head off. Blank. They come back for a few episodes, but that was the first one that they appeared in. It's actually Doctor Who Weeping Angels game on Steam that I want to play. Just not getting into getting it yet. I know that I get time to play for fun these days. So, there we have it, folks. People returning to life after being lowered into the grave. Or zombies. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest, I'm not going to pay for it. I'm going to get it. I'm not going to pay for it just to say I played it. But meeting so much of the cast at Doctor Who right now, it's unreal. And I'm meeting more next week. Next weekend. Yeah, you go me. Can't wait. Yeah, I was actually able to find a true life zombie story to go along with the witches and the werewolves that we've already covered. And give me 2 seconds to pause the adverts. There we go. Ooh. Nice. I don't know when I'm back in London. November, I think it's November for Comic Con London Winter. That'll be fun. I don't really get to sightsee very often though, very much though. But yeah, that would be good. But yeah, so I was able to find real life zombies. I'm getting good at this thing. Now we know, right? Yep. I want to do that. I really do. But I'm never in London long enough socially. Now, we're not stupid here, boys and girls. We know that like werewolves and devil-dealing witches, zombies aren't real. When you're dead, you're dead. You ain't coming back once you're dead. You're dead, okay? You can't come back. These people were not dead. They might have been seen as zombies because they came back to life, but they were not dead when they got buried. And trust me, there was a hell of a lot more stories that I went through. No, you just went on the high street on a Saturday night. I see zombies every fucking gyro day in the town. But zombies are real. Oh, well then, yeah, you probably have seen zombies. But werewolves aren't real. Witches don't have magical powers, however much we would like to. And zombies don't exist. When you are dead, you are dead. You ain't coming back. These people were not dead when they went in the ground. Yeah. But if there's a lesson to be learned from tonight's story, other than taphophobia being the fear of being buried alive, it's that if you're going to bury somebody, then for the love of all that is holy, make sure they are really dead. And not just a little bit dead, but all the way dead. Because if you're a little dead, you can come back. If you're all dead, you ain't coming back. Because waking up in a coffin, trying and failing, to break out must be one of the worst ways to go. It really must. I mean, that shit, thick, terrifying. Seriously. Little dead, don't bury. All dead, bury. But yes, conch, don't bury someone until you behead them. That also works. But little bit dead, big bit dead. They're a little bit dead, don't bury them. Nuh-uh, don't do it. Because you're going to wake up in that coffin and it ain't going to be pretty. Nuh-uh. So, if I'm a little bit dead, leave me. See if I start smelling and rotting, then I'm a big bit dead. Then you can bury me. But don't bury me anyway, because I don't want buried. Nah. I've got claustrophobia, taphophobia, and fucking, I can't pronounce the fear of snow. And where my ashes. Hey! I do not smell. We're not making anyone into sausages. And shh, don't tell anyone that, Conch. Don't give away your secrets. We're not making anyone into sausages, and I don't smell. Nope, not gonna be one food. Nope. But I'm terrified of being buried alive, small spaces, and snow. So, where I would be buried does get covered in snow quite a lot. So, yeah. I know I'm a spoiled sport. So, take what you want. No, I can work. Take what you want to get to organ donation. To be honest with you, right now, pretty much the only thing that I've got going for me. My heart's in good and working order. My liver's short to shit. My lungs don't work. My kidneys don't work too great either. Still got my spleen and my appendix, although they're pretty useless. I bet Hannibal was a good cook. And he always made you eat your vegetables. But he never ate the road. It just didn't taste nice. So I've heard. Yeah, Conch, if you come back for London and you suddenly start selling mince pies and Red's neighbour to be seen, yeah. I know shit, okay? I can find shit out. As you've seen, I literally just found a real life zombie story. So, yeah. Note to anyone in the future, if anyone dies, make sure they're not just a little dead. Make sure they're all dead before you put them in the ground. Or just behead them. Save yourself the trouble. Because if you behead them, then they go from a little dead to a big bit dead, and it's safe. But, yeah. So, 2 weeks' time. Not next week, because yours lot are partying in London and me and Ginge dragging our asses to Birmingham. 2 weeks. Oh, hell yeah. Nobody's got to notice if there's a leg missing. A wee bit of meat in here, you know? Oh. Yeah, baked beans and a nice bowl of breakfast. Yeah. Oh. But yeah, 2 weeks' time. The final part will be going ahead. I've already covered werewolves, I've covered witches, and I have now covered zombies. What could possibly be next? Really doesn't take a genius to work out what's left. I love Buckfast, but it hates me. I covered vampires a few weeks ago with the Sacramento vampire, if you remember. Rump steak, yeah. Got a few steaks out of my rump, not gonna lie. Keep an African family fed for weeks. Yes, Conch. Not just ghosts, but ghosts, demonic possession, that kind of thing. That's where I'm going next. But that will be in 2 weeks. Now, I don't know rabbit toads. If I could find that, I will. I would cover that. I'd be all over that. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have a stable internet on my PC in 2 weeks' time. Most of you will already know why. However, I am going to go ahead and put out the story of the ghosts and everything else, part 4. If necessary, I'm not going to have my overlays, I'm not going to have my sound alerts, or again, that would be so cool. I'm not going to have the overlays, the sound alerts, anything like that. If necessary, I will stream part 4 from my phone. I'm hoping it doesn't come to that, but it might. So the quality might be reduced slightly for part 4, but I want to put it out, and I don't want to leave any longer than 2 weeks. We're already missing next week, and hey, we've got killer clowns from outer space. What's wrong with flock of killer hamsters? They've got a movie about a killer sofa and a killer tyre. Seriously, rubber. Oh my god. Gerbils are it. I don't like gerbils. They're hamsters, but with tails and they creep me out. So, yeah. the story, one way or another, will be going ahead in 2 weeks' time. So that's the 11th of September. Ooh. See, you're getting some great movie ideas here. So, 11th of September, part 4, the final part of the Supernatural story will be going ahead one way or another. I just can't guarantee the quality. Well, what you see here will be fine. Killer rapist chinchillas. Holy fuck. Killer budgies? Okay then. So, yep, the camera will be fine, but I might not have the overlays and everything else, unfortunately. But we'll see what happens, and I will let you know. And hopefully everything will be fine, and I'm worrying about nothing. But at least I'm going to be here, and I'm going to stream it. So I'm going to leave it there for tonight. My hamster ate Freddy Star. Right, stop. So I'm going to leave it there for tonight. Back in 2 weeks. But don't forget to like and share the videos on YouTube. And please, it's not been... have a look at HelloFresh. You are getting a shit ton of food for half price using my link. That's the box that I've got there. That's 5 full meals for 2 people of fresh, perfectly measured out portions for £20.24. Really, can't beat it. Wraith coming in with the bitties. Thank you very much. I need to... There we go. So yeah, check out HelloFresh. It really is the freshest of ingredients at brilliant prices. I mean, what can you get for 20 quid nowadays? The way things are. So, yep, click on the link, check it out. You can pick what meals you want. It's no set meals. You get to choose the meals you want. You don't need to have it for 5 days. You can have it for 3 days, and it's only like £14 or something for the 3 meals. But it's absolutely fantastic value for money. And like I said, what can you get for 20 quid nowadays? I wouldn't even keep your electric going for the 5 days, let alone feed you if you go to the supermarket. Unless you fancy living off of pasta. Pasta's good, but there's only so much you can do with it. Sure as shit can't get a pork chili burrito bowl. What? So, I'm gonna go. And I will catch you all on... I know, it's fine. I know I'd seen some pop up on screen, that's why I got it. I wasn't sure if you would have caught that there. So that wasn't me trying to do your job for you, I was literally just trying to help. But yep, I'll be back in 2 weeks with the ghost demonic possession, and it's not the one you're thinking of, by the way. If you're thinking it is a particular story, you are wrong. But until next time. Bye bye now.